Fallout 4 has many great perks to choose from. Today we are going to rank the 10 best perks that you can get in Fallout 4. Now we are going to exclude very basic perks such as Commando or Rifleman that just merely increase damage to certain weapon types, as these perks are simply a necessity as you level up. This will further extend to perks like Lockpicking and Hacker, because these again are just basic gameplay perks that pretty much all players will get. This list will also exclude any companion perks or perks received from completing the DLC quests, such as in Nuka World and Far Harbor. This will be solely perks found in the special tree. We're going to look at some of the more unique perks in this video. So coming in at the number 10 spot, we have a Moving Target. Now Moving Target can be found in the Agility tree at rank 6. The first tier of this perk grants the player character 25 extra damage resistance and 25 extra energy resistance, provided that the player is sprinting. The second tier doubles this, increasing your extra damage and energy resistance to 50 points each. The final tier of this perk reduces the sprinting cost by 50% fewer action points, meaning you are able to take advantage of the previous tiers more effectively as you can sprint for longer. This perk is really useful for any build, as in firefights you will constantly be on the move to avoid gunfire, and on the off chance that you do take damage, this perk will make sure you are extra durable and able to sprint for longer. You will constantly have a background boost to your defences, which is something that everyone needs. Coming in at the number 9 spot, we have the perk Strongback. Strongback can be found within the Strength tree at rank 6, and the first tier of this perk gives the player an additional 25 carry weight. The second grants an extra 50 carry weight, and the third allows the player character to move at normal speed whilst over encumbered using action points. Whilst this is incredibly useful on its own, the next tier of this perk is especially handy for all those hoarders out there who love to scrounge scrap, guns and everything else they can get their grubby little mitts on. Tier 4 of Strongback allows the player to be able to fast travel to any location in the Commonwealth whilst over encumbered. This allows you to be able to get back to your settlement after a long and arduous battle where you have acquired all of your enemy's loot, and the last tier of Strongback means that you use 50% less AP when over encumbered. This is a super useful perk for any character, but definitely a necessary one if you are someone who loves to get scrap and all sorts of other stuff to build in your settlement. Coming in at the number 8 spot, we have Idiot Savant. Idiot Savant can be found within the Luck tree at rank 5, and is incredibly useful for any type of character, but certainly so for those who are not speccing into intelligence. Idiot Savant at tier 1 gives the player character a random chance to receive 3 times XP from any action, but the chance is increased the lower your character's intelligence. Quests, kills and anything else that gets you some XP in Fallout 4 may randomly get multiplied by 3 and allow you to garner a huge amount of XP. Tier 2 increases this to a whopping 5 times increased XP, and Tier 3 attempts to upgrade this even further, so if Idiot Savant does activate, you will gain the ability to get 3 times XP for getting kills within a certain time frame. Now this might sound great, however we would not recommend going above Tier 2, because Tier 3 of this perk places a secret time limit on how frequently Idiot Savant can trigger, so we would suggest stopping at Tier 2, where you can get 5 times XP for any action randomly. This is a great perk to have in the background, because you never know when you might get a ton of XP. Coming in at the number 7 spot, we have Bloody Mess. Bloody Mess can be found also in the Luck tree, but this time at rank 3, and tier 1 of this perk gives the player character 5% increased damage on all types of weapons, and there is a chance that enemies may explode into a pile of paste. How lovely! Tier 2 takes the damage increase and puts it up to 10%, and Tier 3 increases this even further to a huge 15%. The last tier of this perk switches things up a little bit and gives the player character a chance to turn those exploding enemies into a chain reaction, causing any enemy that is liquefied by the Bloody Mess perk to have the chance to spread this to their fellow cronies and cause them all to erupt into a huge bloodbath. Not only does this perk provide a huge damage increase to all weapon types, it also gives you the magical ability to have the chance to liquefy a gang of enemies. This is just an extremely useful offensive perk to assist you on your journey in the dangerous wasteland. Coming in at the number 6 spot, we have another Luck perk, and this time it is the 4-leaf Clover perk, available at the steep rank of Luck 9. This perk is super useful for you VATS users out there, as tier 1 grants you an increased chance of filling the critical meter when you hit an enemy in VATS. This effect increases drastically as you climb the tiers, with tier 2, 3 and 4 all aiding in the chance of filling the critical meter upon hitting an enemy in VATS. At tier 4, you have an excellent chance of this happening, meaning that a lot of the hits that you get in VATS will fill your critical meter over and over again, making you an unstoppable warrior. You can unleash criticals constantly with this perk, making your offensive capabilities soar through the roof and causing the toughest of enemies to potentially become fodder due to just how overpowered this perk is. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have Concentrated Fire, which can be found at a whopping rank 10 in Perception. Following on from our previous perk, this is also another excellent choice for VATS aficionados. Tier 1 grants the player an increased 10% accuracy for each hit on the same body part in VATS. Tier 2 increases this to a 15% increased accuracy for each hit on the same body part in VATS, and then for tier 3, you increase your accuracy by 20% for each hit on the same body part in VATS, but you also receive an additional 20% damage increase. This means that you can pretty much guarantee any VAT shot due to just how high your chances will be to hit the same body part over and over, and your weapon will now do 20% more damage to those hits. This perk is absolutely essential for any serious VATS user. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have the Nuclear Physicist perk. This perk can be found at rank 9 of Intelligence. Tier 1 of Nuclear Physicist gives the player character 25% more fusion core charge and radiation weapons do 50% more damage. This includes weapons such as gamma guns, radium rifles, and the all-powerful Atom's Judgment. Tier 2 doubles this to increase your fusion core charge by 50%, and radiation weapons do double damage. The final tier of this perk gives the player character a little extra boom in their power pants, as they can eject fusion cores like grenades. These cause huge explosions that can wipe out an entire group of enemies. These are pretty expensive to perform, but they are certainly a very useful last-ditch effort if you want to end a difficult fight quickly. The final tier of this perk also makes the longevity of fusion cores twice as long as their base counterparts. This is an excellent perk for any power armor enjoyer and anyone out there who loves those radiation weapons. If you like both of those things together, then this perk is excellent for you. Now coming in at the number 3 spot, we have Nerd Rage. Nerd Rage is accessible at rank 10 of the Intelligence tree. At tier 1, this perk will activate when the player character goes below 20% health, and when this perk does trigger, time will slow down, and you will be granted an additional 20 damage resistance, and you're also able to deal an extra 20% damage to your enemies. The second tier of this perk follows this, giving you an increase of 30 damage resistance, and you're able to do 30% more damage below 20% health, and the final tier doubles the benefits of the first, as it yields the same slow time effect, but grants you a 40 damage resistance increase, and you're able to do 40% more damage for the duration of the effect. Kills you get whilst in the Nerd Rage effect at this tier have the chance to also restore lost health. This perk is absolutely overpowered. Essentially, you are granted superpowers when you reach the brink of death, and it's pretty difficult to die when you can slow down time, become way more durable, and dish out an unholy amount of damage. Now at the number 2 spot, we have the Critical Banker perk. Critical Banker is a rather simplistic perk, but an incredibly powerful one. You find this at luck rank 7, and the first tier of this perk allows you to save one precious critical hit when you need it most. The following tiers increase this, with tier 2 allowing you to save 2 critical hits, and tier 3 allowing you to save 3 critical hits, but also at this tier, when you bank a critical hit, you have the chance for the game to grant you a second critical hit for free. Then finally, tier 4 allows you to save 4 very powerful critical hits. This perk essentially gives you 4 extra criticals that you can deploy at any time to unleash a devastating final blow to your foe. This, coupled with the regular critical meter being filled, allows you to store a total of 5 critical hits. That is incredibly overpowered, and this can make many fights become extremely easy. Now finally, for the number 1 spot, what will it be? It is Lone Wanderer. The Lone Wanderer perk is available at a measly 3 charisma, and that's pretty generous considering just how good this perk really is. This perk starts out at tier 1, where the player can take 15% less damage from enemies, and you are also granted 50 more carry weight in your inventory. All the player has to do in exchange for this amazing perk is say goodbye to those annoying companions, as this is only active when you are on your own. But don't worry, the goodest boy in the Commonwealth can still tag along, as the Lone Wanderer perk does not affect Dogmeat. Tier 2 doubles all of the benefits of Tier 1, making the player take 30% less damage and adding 100 more carry weight. Tier 3 makes you even more of a god by making you dish out 25% more damage, and Tier 4 grants you 25 more action points. This perk enhances basically every aspect of your character, even encompassing some of the elements of the perks in this list, as you deal more damage per hit than Bloody Mess, you take less damage like Nerd Rage, and you get more added carry weight like Strongback. And the best part is you can still have lovable dogmeat to tag along on your wasteland adventures. So that is the list. If I didn't mention a perk that you thought should have been here, then let me know in the comment section down below. If you disagree with the list in any way, if you think some perks on here shouldn't be here, then also let me know. And if you do agree with the list, then also do let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are aiming for 15,000 subscribers by the end of this year, so please do subscribe if you enjoy the content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. In a bit.